I'm going to start recording this. So today I'm going to be talking about the basics of using CINAHL, which is a really great all-around database for nursing and the allied health sciences. So I did want to start by showing you how to actually get to CINAHL. So I'm going to start on the library website, which is just library.stsu.edu. And the reason I'm starting with this is because it can be a bit complicated to get to some of these databases. The easiest way to do this is to go to the home page and select under this big box, databases. And then you will see that we have a ton of databases. So I recommend just going and selecting the ones that start with the letter C. And you can scroll down here and you will get to CINAHL. And this is what the database looks like. So when you get there, this is what you can find. So I did want to go over some of the basics of CINAHL and kind of what makes it unique compared to a database like PubMed. So one of the most noteworthy things here is that it is a commercial database, whereas PubMed is run by the US government. So in this case, it's going to be something where you do need subscription access to it. We here at STSU have a subscription to CINAHL. So it's something you can use when you're here, but when you graduate, you might not have access to it. Just something I recommend keeping in mind. So one thing you might notice is that there are a bunch of different ways to search here. So this is the advanced search option, but they also have a basic search and they also have a PICO search. So if you're familiar with PICO questions, population, problem, patient, intervention, comparison, or outcome, this is a way of searching just by entering keywords for this and finding information. You'll see they have some examples here, like for an example population, elderly patients with diabetes. So I'm going to go back to advanced search, and I do want to show you some really interesting things that it has. So one thing that you may find a lot of need for is finding just peer-reviewed research. They do have an option here to limit it just to peer-reviewed articles. And they also have, and this is maybe not as important outside of nursing, but they do have something that allows you to select for one or any of the authors, especially the first author, being nurses. Also allowing for publication date. You can search by author or publication. You can look at, and this is possibly relevant if you're looking at a specific public health topic, geography. So oftentimes you may find a bunch of research from, the UK or Europe, and it's not really what you want. You want something specific to the US. This allows you to search specifically in a geographic region. It also allows you, and I want to point out that geographic subset is typically for the publisher. So it's saying I want, a UK-based publisher. Location of practice is going to be where the research was done. So if you want research done specifically in the United States, this is a way of limiting it to that. You can also limit it by publication type, sex, age group. I also have a bunch of special interests. The special interests here means typically specialty. And one that might be useful if you have a bunch of papers you have to read, number of pages. So I wanted to go over that really quickly, but now I want to ask you, is there anything you want to search for so we can try this database out? And go ahead and put it in the chat, or you can unmute and say it out loud. Okay, diabetes in Hispanic adults. Let's try that one. So I think this is a really good way to look at the PICO search. So we can spell it correctly. We can look here at diabetes and Hispanic adults, I'm going to be using the Boolean logic here of and to combine these concepts. So we're looking at both of these terms. You can also add in, but you don't have to, interventions, comparison, like what are you comparing it to, potential outcomes, and also the time or so like the time span of a study or even the type of study. So I'm just going to add this to the search. Apparently it needs an intervention, so I am just going to go with metformin, as that is generally what I do when I search for an intervention for diabetes, just because I know you will find stuff. And you'll see here by using this particular way of doing it, we were able to find over 7,000 results, which is great, except that's way more than we need. So there are a lot of ways to limit your results to something more specific. So maybe you want a peer-reviewed journal article. This database is really lovely because it has continuing education materials. It will have videos, but that's not necessarily what you need for your courses or for research. So let's limit it. And we're not going to see it limit too much. It's now down to around 6,600. We can also limit it to the past, however many years to find more recent data, as recency is very important in the health sciences. And you'll see here we reduced it significantly. There are a lot of other filters you can use, and here one that you might want to look at is full text. Do we have a full text of the article, or is it something that we're going to have to, request elsewhere? You can also find what certain publications. Maybe there's a certain publication that you really want. You can do that here. Also, language is a lovely one, age, stuff like that. So for this one, you might want to choose adult. So I'm going to try and, ugh. Okay. So let's try another search where we're just trying like the basic, that's not what I want, where we're just trying the basic searching here in the um, advanced search feature. So another option is we can look at this. So we can look at lack of prenatal care and preterm birth risk. So for this one, I'm going to go with prenatal care access because um I think that will probably get us more information. And you'll see something really nice about it is it will tell you, hey, maybe you want to search for these other terms here. Another thing I wanted to point out is you have the ability to search in specific fields. So maybe you say, I want any of these terms, but I want it to be in the title or abstract of the article because maybe it's something that is in, I don't know, uh, a reference list, but that's not particularly useful. So I'm going to choose that one here. And let's see what we can find. We find 4 results, which is pretty good. And I will say if we were to remove that term, we're not really going to find that many more because typically that's what they're searching. And you'll see we have a bunch of different options to go through this. Um, so the next thing I want to show you is maybe you find an article and you're like, this is great. I need it. A few things we can do here. So we can check for full text, and this is going to check to see if the library has it. In this case, it looks like we don't have it, but you can request it through interlibrary loan, and this is going to be completely free for you to download. The other option you can have, let me find one we hopefully actually have. So if you click on it, it will actually open as a PDF that you can save and read later. So if you want to download it, print it, highlight it, whatever, you can do that here. Also useful to note is that it will tell you a bunch of additional information, including here some of the terms that are included in this particular article that basically they've signed. So for instance, it's discussing things like this, infant low birth weight. And you might be wondering, how can I cite this? The easiest way is we do have this lovely citation button. So at the top here, it's just these quotation marks. Click it, and it will allow you to copy a citation. I do recommend double checking because in my experience, sometimes this automatic citation can have some errors, especially with capitalization, but this one looks good. And this is ABA, but you can use a whole bunch of styles. So if you're doing AMA or MLA for some reason, you can do that. If you're having to do Vancouver, that's another option. And then also export it. This would allow you to upload it into a citation management software like uh, Zotero or EndNote, which we have access to. So this, you would just download it and it will open up. So I do want to also show you how to share these things. So another option, you can share it. Maybe you want to add it to your Google Drive. If you're working on a group project and you have a folder that you're all sharing to put articles in, you can do that here. Also create a link so you can share it. Maybe you find something and you're like, this is great. How do I share it? This is the easiest way. And also email it. So you can just email it to yourself. You could also email it to somebody else. And you can see I've done this before. If you're logged in to your EBSCO account, which is a whole thing here, you can save it and put it in a folder for later. So for instance, if I want to add it to a project, I can do that here. Just create a project, even put in your due date if you have one, and it will automatically put it in there. And from there, you can also export it all and create a citation or bibliography list from that. So one last thing I want to show you is, let's say you're like, okay, great. All of these articles look great. I really want to save all of them. You can do that. First of all, you can bulk download them, which is quite nice. You can also typically, um, this will actually only give you like the data about these, but you can also go and add them in a different way. Let me see if I can find it. No, that is not what I wanted. You can also share it, and this will help you with that. Um, so if you find a bunch of these that you're needing for a project, that's a way of doing it. Another thing I wanted to show you, because I know this comes up quite a bit, is uh, finding what previous searches you did. So over here on the left, you'll see something called My Dashboard. This will allow you to find what you have saved in different places. It will also show you your search history. So here you'll see a bunch of the searches you ran, any kind of filter that we added to it, as well as the number of results, and also importantly, when you did it. This is something that you might need if you're doing some kind of review type article, or if you're doing a project similar to that in your courses. I know that's something that I've been seeing a lot of. For this, it's really simple. You can just download it as a PDF, and hopefully you can see this. You'll see it here. It's just going to give you all of the information about what was searched, how many results, when, what you searched in terms of the databases. And this is true of not just CINAHL, but any other EBSCO database that we have, like PsycInfo, for instance. Okay. Now also find the records that you viewed, so the various articles or whatnot that you've looked at. So, does anyone have any questions that you want to ask me about CINAHL or any of these databases? Yes, and the article is going to be free. So if you request an article, it will be free of charge. Yes. So I'm going to provide this information here. You'll see here we have something called interlibrary loan, and we have a bunch of FAQs. So this will provide you information on what that is. It is completely free for students, faculty, and staff of the university. And see here, it doesn't cost anything. Um, these are for books. If you're requesting an article, you don't have to worry about it. Typically, it's going to vary depending on the article. Some of them are going to be nearly immediately, but sometimes it's going to be a bit longer. The new system we have, it's going to be almost immediate access to an article. However, it may take up to, I think they say it's going to be like a week, but in my experience, it's typically going to be a, at most like a day or two. It's very quick. So you should be able to find it, you know, pretty quickly, which hopefully is not going to be an issue. Does that answer your question? Okay, good. The main thing we want you to know, it's like you don't, if you go to find an article and you're like, oh my gosh, it's going to cost me $50, it's not going to cost you $50 if you go to us. Like, we're not going to make you worry about that. Okay, does anyone else have any questions? Okay, thank you. Yeah, and I want you to know if you do have questions later and you're like, I don't know what I am doing with this, we are always available to help you. So the first thing is you'll see this popping up a lot, the live chat 24/7. There is a librarian available to help you, even if you're doing something in the middle of the night and you're like, I don't know how to search in this database, somebody is going to be able to help. You can also reach out to me pretty easily. We keep changing this stuff. Um, So if you do want to find me, uh, I'm going to just put this page here. This is my profile. So if you need help, feel free to reach out. I am generally here and I am always happy to talk about these weird databases. So thank you for coming and I will hopefully, I will be sending out this recording later today. So thank you.